how does a seller evaluate a financing versus a cash offer? Well, that's easy. You take the cash offer all the time if they're relatively close, or even if they're a few $1,000s difference. And you think, well, I don't want to leave money on the table. Yeah, but the difference is if you have a substantial cash offer or an all cash offer, now I don't have to worry about appraisals. I don't have to worry about other things in the lending process, particularly in the time. Now, fortunately, we're beyond it, but for a while during COVID, we saw a lot of people that were well qualified, started to go through financing, and then because COVID, lost a job, wound
Sure.
up with a reduction in salary, and now all of a sudden that loan deal is tenuous at best. So obviously, I would strongly encourage you to take the cash deal if you could, and it's not always the case, but those generally are the easiest. They tend to be smoother with respect to getting to closing and closing as well.
Yeah, I agree. So the one thing I have seen in the last couple years, I don't know if you've seen on your end, is an increase in cash offers. I'm not sure where some of these younger buyers are getting it, maybe borrowing it from their family, but we are seeing an increase. And what you mentioned before is so important, is to have that documentation, the proof of funds, of easily accessible funds. I had one realtor tell me when I asked for the proof of funds, "Oh, don't worry, my client's good for it." Like, well, I don't know. Maybe so,
Right.
but I don't know who your client is, and unless we have the proof of funds, this offer isn't going anywhere.
Right. And we've had some circumstances where younger people will come in, they'll make a cash offer, except their proof of funds is on mom and dad's account or on an aunt's and uncle's account. And
Hmm.
as we often talk about in the probate side of the practice, when you mix family and money, stuff happens. And
Sure.
while everybody may be getting along fantastically over last weekend, and sure, we'll give you the money for purposes of the purchase. 4 weeks from now, there may have been a falling out, and now all of a sudden, that proof of funds from mom and dad isn't going to help us for a purchase because they're not going to do it. So that's another thing when you're looking at proof of funds: whose name's on the account, and again, what type of account is it in? If it's in a 401k, be very, very careful. There's a lot of hurdles that you have to jump through to withdraw from a 401k to use for a purchase. That's even more difficult, in my opinion, than liquidating a stock account. So there's a lot of things to take a hard look at when you're evaluating what's a true cash or what's somebody's ability to finance.